Hey guys, welcome back to Naturally Anxious. This is girl Crystal Hazel. Today's topic is stalkers. And I know my beautiful friend Lily, who gave me the topic, is going to be like, oh, let me get ready. Let me sit down, get comfortable. She was like, you have to talk about this. You have too many stalkers to not talk about this. And to my family members who are like, who are these stalkers? Why didn't you ever tell us this? I am an independent, strong woman who doesn't need anybody to help her. I can handle myself. It's okay. I am safe. It's not like he's like entering the house or anything. Like, it's one of those people that just are just weird, okay? And it's towards me mostly, okay? And to my friends who know about this, we're gonna go down into it. So, before this intro, I hope you grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable, okay? Alright, let's go into this intro. Now that we're back from that beautiful intro, we're back. And to the people who haven't been here since it was called Real Chat, I did go into details about a stalker, and I feel like we have to bring that stalker back. So, without further ado, we're going to call this stalker Dave. Dave dated one of my closest friends in freshman year of high school, and your girl Crystal, this is my biggest red flag. I like to give people multiple chances and opportunities to prove themselves to me. And that is a red flag for me. I feel like I should stop doing that, and luckily for you guys, I did. But kind of late in life, okay? I felt so sorry for Dave because nobody in our group liked him, and I just didn't know why. I'm like, why are you guys so mean to Dave? Oh, he's just weird. No, like Crystal, like literally, he's weird. But the thing is, at the time, freshman year, I had very judgmental friends. I'm not going to lie. If you were a friend of mine in high school and you were in the lunchroom with me, you know how judgmental that group was. Sorry, not sorry. And I was like, okay, like everybody's being so mean to him. Like, I like to give people opportunities because that's how I met my closest friends. Like, people saying, oh no, they're like this and they're that and blah, blah, don't get close to them. And then they ended up being the most loyal and most trusting friends that I've ever had. So I was like, Dave, come sit with us. And when all of my friends were like, oh, Crystal, come on. And I'm like, no, like, let him sit. His girlfriend's sitting with us. Why is he not sitting with us? It doesn't make sense. And he was like, oh, thank you, Crystal, blah, blah, blah. Right? Few months passed by. Dave hasn't shown any weirdness to me. And I just, I was like, oh, he's cool, whatever. And eventually my friend breaks up with him. Okay? And I'm thinking, oh, that sucks. Like, now it's going to be weird because, I did invite him to this group. Now it's weird. Okay, cool. Luckily for me, he never said, hey, can I sit with you guys? He was more of like keeping his distance since they broke up. Cool. Another month passed by. It's around Valentine's Day. And I end up having a lot of secret admirers in my locker. Because, they give out those secret admirer, candy and flowers, whatever. And I thought it was weird because my friends claimed most of them. Like, hey, it was me. I just wanted to show my love to you, blah, blah. And I had a guy friend that always gave me flowers every year. I feel like low-key felt sorry for me. But, like, besides the point, shout out to him because he's still the sweetest guy ever. And for the longest time, I've been getting these little notes in my locker. And I just didn't think anything of it. Mind you, keep in mind, I have to tell you guys that I never used my locker in high school. I always put my lockers in certain of my put all my books in certain friends' lockers because it was really close to the class I was gonna go to anyway. So I was like, there's no point in my locker. None of my classes are up there. There's no point of it. So I rented it out to multiple people and they just used it for their own God knows what. I did have a rule. You had to keep it clean and you couldn't draw on it or anything because they'll find me. Whatever. Okay? Now back to the story. I kept finding these weird notes on my locker, and the people that were renting my locker were like, hey, girly pop, like, I don't know what this is, but it's been happening multiple times a day, and I don't know. We were very confused of who this is because we haven't seen anybody go in the locker, and it's just always a letter and always a flower there. It's so weird. And I was like, okay, just, do you know anybody that has study hall at this period, whatever? Because you guys seem to only notice it at that period. One of our friend, we're gonna call her Rebecca, always has study hall around that time. So I said, hey, can you do me a favor and keep an eye on my locker? Because it's not making sense of why it's only this period. She goes, yeah, no problem. So Rebecca starts, at the time we were able to use our phones. So Rebecca's like, I got you, girl. She went to the bathroom. She's like, I'm walking past it and I don't see anybody and there's nothing on your locker. I'm so confused. She goes to the bathroom and she sees that this person is hovering around my locker. And she started recording from a distance. Because my locker was near the library, but it was down the stairs. There was only like 2 steps. But in between it, there's like this wall that you could go around it. So she went around the wall and she's like, girl, it's Dave. And I'm like, Dave? And she's like, yeah, it's Dave putting the flowers in the note. And I'm like, why? She goes, I don't know, but do you want me to confront him? Do you want me to do something about it? And I'm like, no. Just record him posting those things in my locker. So she records him. I know you shouldn't record people without their permission, but technically it was my locker that he was putting stuff on. So technically I'm trying to solve a case. Like I need all the details. So my friend records Dave and Dave starts looking around. So he catches my friend Rebecca recording him and he's like, can I help you? And she's like, oh no, I'm not taking a picture of you. I was taking a picture of the thing behind you. Luckily for us, there was a drawing behind my locker thing and she was like, oh, I'm just taking this picture for photography class. Don't mind me. Like, do you? So I don't know how Dave believed that, but he believed it. And she went running to my guy friends and saying, hey, like, this is a person that's like all over Crystal's locker and this is in the fourth. So my guy friends were like, okay, we're going to confront him because Crystal feels uncomfortable. And I know Crystal's not going to say anything because she's too nice. Thank you to my friends for believing that because I am too nice. So we're going to call my friends Ben and Jerry. Ben and Jerry are when I tell you, very protective over me. It's not even a joke. These guys will protect me no matter what. And I love Ben and Jerry for this reason. Sadly, we're no longer friends, but they were loyal to me during high school. So they see Dave going up the stairs and Ben was going down the stairs and decided to stop Dave and said, hey, like, why were you putting stuff in Crystal's locker? He was like, what are you talking about? Dude, let's not act stupid. And shows him the the recording of him putting stuff in my locker. And he's like, oh, it's not even like that, blah, blah. Like, I was just showing my appreciation to her. And he goes, for what, though? Like, why are you putting stuff in her locker? And he's like, dude, it's not even like that. Like, I don't even like her in that way. It was just to show my appreciation. He goes, dude, you put things on her locker every single week. Like, this is not like you showing your appreciation. This is some weird shit. Like, stop. And he's like, dude, it's not even like that. Like, why are we taking this so far? So, yeah, Rebecca confronts him, sees him around the locker again. She confronts him like, hey, Crystal's a really nice girl, but please do not be fooled. Like, she has a lot of people that care about her. Please do not go near her locker again. It's really weird, okay? He walks away, rolls his eyes, whatever. Gets really angry, saying, I don't care. I don't understand why everybody cares that I'm putting stuff in her locker. Like, she doesn't seem to mind. And she was like, yeah, because she's too nice. She's not going to tell you anything. So eventually, I go to the locker. And at this point, I'm just checking to see if anybody has messed up my locker and blah, blah, blah. I go to my locker. There's this drawing of a flower and a little Betty Boo, like, drawing. And I'm, like, sighing, going, like, dude, why is this dude doing this? And then I see him in the hallway. I'm like, please stop putting stuff in my locker. Like, I'm not this type of person. I'm not a confrontation. Like, I don't like telling people off. But please stop putting stuff in my locker. Like, this is very uncomfortable for me. He goes, I didn't put anything in your locker. I'm like, all my friends have been saying is that you're putting stuff in my locker, and I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. And he's like, oh, it's not even like it. You make it seem like I'm so in love with you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I never said that. Did you hear that coming out of my mouth? I've never said that. All I said, it was very weird that you're putting stuff in my locker and not taking ownership for putting stuff in my locker. Like, it's not that serious. Stop putting stuff in my locker. So then he's like, oh, it's not a big deal. Like, you're making it a bigger deal. And I'm like, dude, just please get off my face. Like, get out of my face. Like, I was just getting so irritated. I was like, please get out of my face. Eventually, my friends, Ben and Jerry, come around and start being like, hey, like, leave her alone. Like, she's telling you to leave her alone. You're not listening. Leave her alone. He leaves me alone, walks away. That was so-called the end of that. So after my friends confront him, he walks away. A month passes. Don't see anything in my locker. I'm thinking, okay, like he fully stopped. This is a great thing. He stopped. This is great. This is what I wanted. Wrong. This kid, oh my god, this kid waited a couple months and started up again. Putting hard, saying in Spanish, you are the light of my life, blah, blah, blah. You are my amor, blah, blah, blah. And I was sick and tired of this. I literally was like, I went to his locker. Okay. He wasn't there. Apparently, he was absent. He wasn't there. So I confront his best friend. I'm like, hey, I'm not an evil person. I'm not a mean person. I would just like for your friend to leave me alone. And he's posting these things, and I'm showing him different things that he's put in my locker, and I don't appreciate it. I feel very uncomfortable. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll talk to him. Like, I'm so sorry you feel uncomfortable." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm not a mean person. I just don't feel comfortable, especially because one, he is one of my closest friends' ex-boyfriend. Two, I don't see him in that sense. I was always being nice to him just to not make him feel left out. And I've told him very nicely to stop, and he's not listening to me, and it's very uncomfortable. So his friend, he's a very understanding guy. His friend is a really sweet kid. So he's like, dude, like, you really need to stop. Like, she's feeling really uncomfortable. She was getting emotional talking to me. Like, now I feel uncomfortable for you. Like, this is really uncomfortable. And I was there when he was on the phone with him. He's like, you really need to stop that. Like, she's so uncomfortable. Like, she's shaking of how uncomfortable she's feeling. He's like, no, 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 like, it's not even like that, blah, blah. And he goes, dude, if you continue this, like, I'm not going to be able to talk to you. Like, you're making a girl feel really uncomfortable, especially one of our closest friends feel uncomfortable. He just kept talking to him like, dude, stop. Just stop. She doesn't like you. Just have move on. He finally moves on. Finally gets a new girlfriend. Thank God. Oh my God. And then he just disappears from my life. Sadly, you thought that was the end. You're wrong. Sadly, around the time we leave high school, okay? This has to be a year after graduation, so 2015. I am aging myself. It's fine. So I'm randomly at Dunkin' Donuts with my best friend Lily, and she was there for this. And this is why I had to. She loves this story. So this guy has been stalking me on Snapchat, Instagram, just nonstop. Okay, not one trace of a girlfriend. Just continues to like all my stuff, message me, blah blah, saying that I'm so beautiful, blah blah, this and the fourth. And then he was with a group of friends at Dunkin' Donuts. I was in the car with my best friend. We just left Dunkin', okay? And he's just sitting there, like, looking at me, whatever, thinking, like, oh, I'm just that girl, whatever. And his boys are like, oh, that's your girl, that's your girl. And he's like, smiling, blushing, all this stuff. And I'm just like, what? Like, what? My best friend waits until we're in the car and she goes, can you stop stalking my best friend? You look weird. Leave her alone. Aren't you sick and tired of her rejecting you? And screaming this while his boys are still with him. And we are cackling, laughing in the car. After she yells that out and she's basically confronting him in front of his friends and inside my car, we're far away from them, by the way. All his friends go, oh, and I'm like, Lily, why did you do that? She goes, he just has to know. Thank God she did that. He finally left me alone. Mind you, beforehand, I sent him a message saying, hey, no offense, and this is really not offensive, but in no shape or form am I interested in this situation. Like, I have told you this multiple times. I'm just not interested. And I've told him so many times. I've written paragraph after paragraph. This guy never got the hint. It took for my friend to yell out the window for him to finally click in his head. She's not interested, my dude. It was crazy. I was just like, oh my God. It took for that to embarrass you in front of your friends for you to fully understand that I wasn't interested. So he was stalker number one. Okay. Stalker number two, on the other hand, there was no escaping him. I'm so sorry. To this day, I feel uncomfortable. So stalker number two happened to be a day that me and my little cousin were just playing, kicking the ball across the street or whatever. So me and my little cousin were kicking the ball back and forth across the street. My littlest little cousin that I was taking care of was also kicking the ball, but the ball randomly went to one of my older neighbor's yards. So he went to go get it. And this guy, we're going to call him stalker number two. We're going to call him Glenn. So Glenn decides to give the ball to my little cousin and says, "Who's that?" He goes, "Oh, that's my older cousin." I'm not going to tell you my nickname, but he called me by my nickname. And he goes, "Oh, okay," and smiles at me and says, "Hey." I'm thinking, okay, cool. We have a cool neighbor. I don't have to worry about him complaining if the ball goes to his yard. This is awesome. To my understanding, right? So a few days pass, and his whole family moves into my old neighbor's house. And I'm like, oh, I guess we have new neighbors. This is cool. Fully moves in. There's a truck. All his family members are unloading the truck. I'm like, cool, cool, cool. I have somebody my age in third block. Maybe he'll be a friend, whatever. I did not find this man attractive. Listen, you know my type. It is my husband. First off, it is Dylan and Cole Sprout. there's a vibe here, right? Okay, cool. Y'all understand it? I understand it. We're on the same page. Cool. This guy is nowhere close to either three. Okay? But this man just swore that I had this big crush on him. Just like in his mind, his little tiny little mind, Glenn just assumed I was obsessed with him. One thing that you guys should know is that Glenn has a history. Yes, my stalker has a history of hitting it and quitting it. And getting girls knocked up and not paying child support. Yes, you guys have heard it here first. Glenn likes to hit it and quit it and not take ownership for the girls that he gets knocked up. Yes. Yes, he does. Anyways, so Glenn is the type of guy that does that. Yeah. So then he thought it was cute to cyber stalk me on Facebook. Cool. I was like, okay, cool. This is before I started noticing the weirdness. So he follows me. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, my neighbor's adding me. I don't know how he found me, but cool. Come to find out, somebody in our block was like, oh, yeah, like, Glenn was asking about you. And I'm like, why? Yeah, Glenn, he was asking who's this Latina chick that lives in the corner. And I mentioned your mom's name. It wasn't her. It was a girl, like, kind of looks kind of like this and the fourth. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's Crystal. And he's like, oh, Crystal, cool. Like, yeah, she seems to really, like, dig me, whatever. And I'm like, dude, the only words I've spoken to you is this. This movement right here. If you guys aren't watching on YouTube, I'm waving my hand back and forth. That is the only acknowledgement I ever gave Glenn. Okay? In that sense, I'm confused of how he thought I was flirting with him or even acknowledging that I have any attraction to him. Very confused by that. That was a first red flag. The second red flag was the fact that he cyber stalked me on Facebook, sent me multiple messages, which I, not gonna lie, responded back going, he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm just like chilling with my cousins, whatever. And that was the end of the conversation. So Glenn took it upon himself to send me a video of him playing a serenade on his piano and said, what do you think about that? And a winky face. Glenn, if you don't take your butt home and take care of all the kids you owe child support to, please. Glenn, what are we doing here? Glenn, get it together, okay? So he sends me that video, and I automatically get the ick. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I am not interested. And I said it exactly like that. And Glenn, after I've rejected him, decided to message me about my LA friend and decided to say, oh, is she single? Send me a picture of my friend from LA. And decided to say, is she single? And I'm like, no, she's happily in a relationship with her gorgeous boyfriend. If you don't mind being a cyber stalker. And he just never messaged me after that. Then, a few months pass. My mom decides to take care of all of my little cousins, right? We decide to go to Chuck E. Cheese. But before that, I have to get the car ready for them, right? As well? So I'm here with my little cousin setting up the car for us to go to Chuck E. Cheese while my mom gets the boys in the family ready. Cool. And I'm sitting here going, who is this dog? His dog decides to go in the car with me. And I'm like terrified because I don't know where this talk came from at all. I'm just like, whose dog is this? Just like happen to go inside the car with me in it, and I'm screaming, going, whose dog is this? sadly, the dog was so precious, so nice, licking me and so excited to see me. And I'm just like, who do you belong to? My little cousin's like, oh, can we keep him? And I'm like, no, this is somebody's dog. What do you mean, can we keep him? We're all petting him, so happy. It ended up being Glenn's dog. And Decca's like, he like whistled at him, got the dog back, and it was like, oh, so where are you guys going? And flirting with me, and I'm like, we're going to Chuck E. Cheese with my entire family. How are you? And like, I'm talking in such a nasty tone because like at the same time, like this guy is like his like whole demeanor is like egotistic, and it's just like ugh, disgusting. And my little cousin was like, can you move? Mind you, at that time, my little cousin was at least 9. It's just like, clap it up for her. Love her. She's like, can you move? Like, we're trying to pack the car. And I was like, yes, queen. Yes, queen. Tell him off. So then Glenn leaves. And he's like, I'll message you later. And I was like, no. Like, I got all my cousins in. And I was like, nope. And I closed the door and I started driving my mom's car. And we all make it to Chuck E. Cheese, and I'm having a blast with my little cousin because, like, what a great opportunity to go to Chuck E. Cheese and just waste a bunch of tokens that you paid for. They can't stop you from playing because all my little cousins are here. We're gonna tell you, you're gonna kick me out? No, you can't. So I took the opportunity to play. So we make it to Chuck E. Cheese, and as a girl that loves her Chuck E. Cheese, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't been there in years. I took it upon myself. I said, you know what? This is a good time to buy a bunch of tokens and win a prize for my cousins. Okay? Be that cool cousin that got you a toy from Chuck E. Cheese. I started playing all these games and my phone is nonstop blowing up from Glenn. I was like, yeah, no. And he was asking me, hey, are those little girls your daughters? I'm like, no. And then I swiped and deleted him. I was like, I'm not. What we're not gonna do is act like you don't know. Okay, Glenn. Why don't we look for a different girl? It ain't gonna be here. I'm not interested in Glenn. Okay? Glenn to this day still bothers me. He assumes that my beautiful husband is his best friend, which is not true at all. Glenn, he doesn't like you. I'm so because Glenn has this demeanor about him that just like once you meet Glenn, and it's not in a mean way, it's just like when you meet Glenn and you actually have a conversation with him, you're like, oh, he seems like a cool guy, right? When you get to know him, it gives you the ick. And I'm sorry, like I hate doing that about people. I hate being mean to people, but it's just Glenn doesn't get it's like Glenn doesn't see that people feel uncomfortable when he talks about certain topics. You know what I mean? Like he's just one of those people that you're just like, why are we talking about this? Or like he just makes you feel uncomfortable because of how close and not understanding people's bound. Like he's just one of those people that just don't understand. Just don't understand. Anyways, so stalker number 3. Stalker number 3, we're gonna call her Hope. Okay? Hope is a girl. Yeah, you guys heard that? That my third stalker is a girl? Yes. Hope was the type of girl that regardless if she was in a relationship, she would do anything to get the guy that she wants, even though he's in another relationship. There is so much about Hope that later on, after everything that happened, I started finding out. Let's get into it because Hope is one of those people that just like, you know, when, okay, have you ever watched the movie Roommate or Roommates, the new one? And how terrible that girl is. She seemed cool at first and then she turned into a psychopath. That is Hope, okay? My third stalker story is so terrifying that I don't know how I'm bringing this to my podcast when I haven't even told my family about this. I told my mom, but my mom didn't know full details about it. But my brothers have zero idea about this, and I'm sorry that you're finding out this way. But, okay, so it all starts. I'm a senior. Hope is a freshman. Okay? I was in a creative writing class that had mostly freshmen. Okay? Because it was my first time taking the class. I didn't have it at first. Okay? So I decided to take this creative writing with my best friend, Heather. Okay? We decided to take a creative writing together. We're like, you know what? Why would we want to leave early? Let's take another elective. It looks good in colleges. Let's do that. So we become friends with Hope and a bunch of other freshmen, okay? The other freshmen, on the other hand, were like, guys, we should warn you about Hope. Hope is a little territorial. And I'm like, okay, about what? She goes like, she's very icky. Like, I don't think you guys should be friends with her. And I'm the type of person, again, I know it's my biggest red flag. I like to experience things by myself. I don't like when people tell me that I shouldn't hang out with this person because of this person. I shouldn't, because I've made the greatest friends and loyal friends and trustworthy friends due to the fact that I ignored other people's opinions about other people. But that time, I should have listened. I should have listened. And to the people that warned me from that creative writing class, I should have listened. This is on me. I should have listened to y'all. Okay. Um. So Hope, very smiley, very oh my god, Crystal, hi, like, and then she started dating my freshman year crush, Paul. Okay. So Paul, I love Paul. Paul, love you, dude. Paul, when it came to her, he was just a little lapdog. And sad to say, but I liked the dude. I thought he was a cutie. Paul knows who Paul is, and I'm not gonna out Paul. You know what I mean? I'm still close to Paul, okay? So Paul and Hope started dating. Paul was a senior, she was a freshman. Um, Before she knew I was friends with Paul, she was okay with me. Paul needed notes from a certain class. I gave it to him. I'm like, hey, got the notes. We're not in the same class, but health class, we're both seniors. It's the same thing. So he got the notes from me. He wrote it down. He's like, oh, thank you so much. I was missing the notes for this. I was like, cool. And Hope is like, you guys know each other? Oh, Crystal? Like, I've known her since freshman year. She's like one of my closest girlfriends. I think she heard girlfriend and kind of got triggered. Okay? Because after he said that, her whole demeanor changed. And he left, and I'm like, hey, Hope, like, in no shape or form have we ever dated. We're not interested in each other. I just want to make that clear to you. She goes, no, 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 it's fine. And I'm like, no, Hope, like, with all due respect, I'm being respectful. I'm letting you know there was nothing between me and Paul. He just needed notes, and he's one of my closest guy friends. He was like one of the first guy friends I made here. She goes, girl, you don't have to explain. I totally understand. Like, he's allowed to have friends. Yeah, right, Hope. Because Hope, the next time she was around me, she she got so attached to me when she found out me and Paul were close friends. And my dear friend, Theo, we're going to call him Theo. He was like, Crystal, me and the boys were talking, and you should be careful around that girl. And I'm like, Hope? Why? Oh, like, Hope, sometimes when your name is brought up, she makes a face, she starts saying things about you. You should be careful. And I'm like, oh, what the heck is Hope gonna do? Have you seen her? Like, what's she gonna do to me? And I was one of those people I have in denial. Like, I'm very in denial. And Theo was like, listen, like, girl, like, this girl, like, there's something off about her. And I'm like, okay, like, thank you for letting me know. So, Hope had this friend. We're gonna call her Buffy. So, Buffy was Hope's best friend, okay? And this is around winter time. And for the longest time, me and Hope were really getting along, and we were in classes together. We were working on projects together. Me and Hope were getting tight. And I'm thinking we're best friends. She's in my photo shoots, everything. Like, this girl became very close to me to the point that she used to come to my house and drop off gifts, and I gave her gifts. And, like, we were getting very close. She forgot about the paw thing, apparently. But Buffy one day was like, hey, can I go to, like, drama club with you? And I'm like, yeah, Buffy, come, like, join. Like, it's gonna be great. And Buffy says,
hey guys, okay, it's Crystal Hayes here. Don't mind me, looking a mess because your girl is sick. What I meant to say in this clip was that Hope was leaving and Buffy came to drama club with me. That's what I meant to say, guys. So let's go back to the podcast.
I'm like, yeah, Buffy, come, like, join. Like, it's gonna be great. And Buffy says, okay, bye, guys. Blah, blah, goes home. And Buffy goes, Crystal, between me and you, and don't tell Hope I ever said this, but if she ever invites you to her house, don't go. And I said, what? She goes, Crystal, if Hope invites you to her house, don't go. And I said, that is very weird that you're saying this to me. And she goes, girl, I'm not joking. Like, don't go. So drama club is over, and I'm talking to my two best friends, and I'm like, guys, Buffy just told me this, and they were, when I tell you their face went pale, guys, it went so pale, and they're like, Crystal, um, yeah, we've been warning you about this girl. Like, there's something off about her. Like, something about you makes her feel very insecure, very uncomfortable. Like, she does not trust you. Like, she has this anger towards you. Like, when she's around you, or if people talk about you, she gets very upset. And I'm like, why? But Paul says so many. Paul says like she loves me and all this stuff. She goes, yeah, because she puts a different demeanor in front of Paul. Paul doesn't really see her, like the craziness of her. So it's around December, and Buffy has been coming to drama club nonstop and still warning me like, don't go to her house. And come to find out, Miss Hope invites me to her house. She goes, hey, would you like to come over and like watch a movie? Let's hang out, let's gossip, whatever. And I said, oh, I'll let you know. And mind you, Buffy was there when she invited me, and she goes, and if you're watching on YouTube, I'm nodding my head no, and I'm saying no, right? Buffy's like, she's like, oh my god, like, oh Hope, sorry, I have to go with Crystal because she lives right near me, and she said her mom was gonna drop me off, and I'm gonna do my hair with her mom. And I'm like, yeah, da da da. And she's gonna help me with my photo shoot, blah blah blah. So hopefully she goes, bye guys, hugs us. And then I see that she's like a little off looking at Buffy, and I was like, okay, this is weird. And Buffy's like, don't go. She has like this weird plan to hurt you. Like, don't go. Like, I'm being so serious. Like, she has this anger towards you. Like, I'm questioning things. Like, she has your name written multiple times in her notebook, crossed off multiple times. Like, stay away from her. Like, I'm not even joking. This is not a ha ha ha. I'm not joking with you. This is not a prank. Stay the freak away from her. Like, she's crazy. And I'm like, why? What did I do? I don't understand why she's so angry towards me, but then putting a different face on when she sees me. I'm so confused. She goes, she doesn't like the fact that you're close to Paul. And she thinks you're going to take Paul away from her. And I said, what? And I kept my distance from her. So Buffy starts saying, Crystal, I understand that you would never do that to her. But the thing is, in her mind, she's thinking something else. Like, you need to be very careful. I understand you're a very understanding person and you like to find out things on your own, but please do not go to her house. Like, I'm warning you, and I'm her best friend. Like, there's something weird about this. So I end up telling her a lie, saying, hey, like, my mom is not letting me go. I'm so sorry. And she goes, okay, like, I'm about to have a birthday party at my house with a few close friends. Just let me know if you could go. And I'm thinking, like, what's going on here? Like, her best friend, her ride or die best friend that she's been best friends since kindergarten, is telling me to stay away from her. And she's inviting me nonstop to her house. And I go to her best friend. I text her. I'm like, hey, she just invited me to her birthday party. Are you going to that? And she goes, what birthday party? And when she said, what birthday party? I was like, oh my God, like, this is so uncomfortable for me. I'm like, she just, like, I'll scream, like, I'll show you tomorrow in drama club. Like, she literally told me she's having a birthday party. She's going out to dinner with family, and then she's going to have a little thing at her house. She goes, Crystal, I was never invited to that. I don't know what she invited you to, but I was never invited to that. I know that her parents are taking her out to eat, and she's inviting a few friends, but afterwards, she didn't plan anything. Like, I wasn't invited to anything. And then that was my red flag. I was like, like, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say my mom couldn't, I'm not allowed to go. And Hope was like, oh my God, I wish you were there. And this is afterwards. She was like, I wish you came, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. My mom's really strict. Oh my God. So after I told her that, she made it like an ongoing thing, saying like, tell your mom that, my dad is here, my mom's here, they're very, she could trust them, blah blah. And I kept saying like, no, my mom's really picky about, like, letting me out with certain people, blah blah. Hope made it her mission to let me go to her house, because after I told her that, she literally started booking appointments with her mom and certain family members to do their hair with my mom. And Hope is like, oh my god, like I would love for Crystal to come over. And my mom was like, oh, I don't see why not. And when she said that, Hope was like, oh, that's great. So next time, can you come over? And I'm like, oh yeah, like I'll see. And I told my mom afterwards, I was like, hey, like I'm getting this weird vibe about her. And that's why I've been saying that you wouldn't let me go. And she goes, okay, that makes sense. Like, I'm so sorry. You should have told me something. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's okay. So next time if she says something, just say sorry. No, like I don't like her in people's houses. Blah blah. So this is January at this point, and Hope has been nonstop trying to invite me to her house, right? So I made an admission to invite Hope to my house to see how she reacts in front of my friends. So I invited Hope and I invited Paul. Paul couldn't go. Hope came anyways. It was a movie night. One thing of my friends back then is they will interrogate you if you're new in the group. So they started asking her questions, asking her questions, asking her questions. And one of my friends decided to go, so how's Buffy? She goes, oh, Buffy's great. Like, we're going to go to the mall soon, blah, 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 this and the fourth. And saying, like, how close are you and Buffy? And she goes, we're pretty close. We've been friends since kindergarten. And she's like starting to suspect something. And my friend's like, oh, no, I just wanted to know because I've known, Buffy for a while. And I'm trying to see like how long you guys have been friends because I've been friends with her only since like, eighth grade. She goes, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. Just dismisses it. She finally leaves. And my friend's like, so, like, what's the situation? Like, you never bring somebody new in the group. I said, because her best friend Buffy told me that she has something planned, evil plan, to have me over her house to harm me. And then apparently in her notebook, she writes my name multiple times and crosses it off, says horrible things about me in this notebook. And I just wanted to see her vibe run in front of you guys. And my friends were like, okay, so like stay away from her. Like, that's it. Like, you don't need any other explanation. If her best friend is telling you that there's something wrong, there's something wrong. So it's our senior year, obviously. And in senior year, in the end of the year, you usually go to prom. So one thing you should know that not a lot of people like Hope, okay? Not a lot of people like Hope. But they love Paul. We all love Paul, okay? And everyone's like, yo, Paul, like, what are you doing for prom weekend? Hey, Paul, like, who are you seeing with at prom? And Paul's like, oh, I don't know, blah, blah. And Hope is just, like, not having it. She's like, you're not going to prom weekend. You're not doing this and the fourth, blah, 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 this and the fourth. So, like, after, like, I completely shut off from Hope, like, she was only allowed at my house with another friend. Like, I was never alone with her. So, Hope starts showing up. So this is like months before prom, okay? So months pass after this whole debacle, right? My mom still keeps saying no to Hope, saying no, she can't go over your house, but you come over our house. And every time she was allowed at my house, I always had somebody with me. I was never alone with her because I felt very uncomfortable after her best friend told me that. So I made it a mission to like get close to Hope to show her like you have nothing to worry about. So in drama club, I saw that Paul was getting really upset about something. And one thing about our drama club is they call us Mr. and Mrs. in drama club because I knew how to calm down Paul, okay? When he got really upset. So my two best friends were like, hey, go handle that because Paul only listens to you. He doesn't want to hear us out, whatever. He walks out. I go after Paul. I'm like, Paul, like, what's going on? Like, why are you upset? Oh, I don't know. Hope is really mad at me. I don't know why. I'm like, also, all this has to do with Hope. He goes, yeah, like, I don't know what's going on. She's so mad at me, blah, blah. And I'm like, what's the reason? Like, what did you do? He goes, I don't really know. All I said to her is that I had practice and I couldn't go hang out with her. I'm like, that's it? He goes, yeah. I'm like, okay, so don't worry about that right now. Take a deep breath. And don't think about that right now. When it comes to her, I'll help you talk it out with her. Everything will be fine. He goes, oh, thank you. He hugged me. We go upstairs. What I didn't know is that when he hugged me, one of her close friends from her team saw us hug, went back to her, and said, oh, I saw Crystal and Paul hug. Bruh. Are you serious? Are you serious? You know this girl's crazy. You know this girl's crazy, and you know me as a person. Me and Paul has been friends since freshman year, and then you go and tell her that. So Hope calls me and she's like, "Hey, any chance you're with Paul?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was just with him. I'm with my friends now. He had a really rough day at drama club and, everybody was telling me to calm him down." So I followed him. I said everything was going to be fine, that, he's really upset of something that went on between you guys. Didn't tell me details. He just said, "I'm really upset with me and my girl." And I said I will help him understand like what's going on. Maybe he misunderstood something you said or did. Men are like that. She goes, "Oh, okay," because like one of my friends said that they saw you guys hug. I'm like, "I did hug him because he was like breathing really heavily and I was just hugging him." She goes, "Oh," and then hangs up. Doesn't even say bye, just hangs up. This girl was just like all over the place. I don't know what was wrong with her, but she was just, 1 minute she was okay with me, 1 minute she was bad with me. I just didn't understand this girl. After all this, um, Hope just decides to be around a lot. And, for me, that's just a big no no. Like, I was just like, why is she here? Like, my friends were like, bro, why is she here? And she just would sit there, just staring at me. And I thought at first she was just staring at no, she was just, her eyes were only set on me. Like, if she was babysitting to see if I'll go near Paul. And after a while, Buffy was like, hey, like, her anger towards you is not going to go away. I think it's best for you to stay away from Paul. I'm like, why do I have to stay away from my friend? Because she feels insecure. But I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm not going to go near Paul. Because at that point, I was like, okay, like now she's like really trying to be that psycho. And I don't want anything to happen to me because I'm being friends with Paul. Whatever. So I stopped talking to Paul. Paul would try to talk to me. I just refused to talk. So we're going to fast forward a month later. And we're having twins day, and me and my friend Heather decided to twin. Cool, whatever. Cool. She twins with Paul. And she's still talking to me during class. It's not like I'm distancing myself. Like, she's coming closer to me the more I distance myself from Paul. And she's like, oh my god, guys, we're besties, blah, 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 blah. And she would take my phone, go away with it, without me noticing, goes away with my phone, and takes a selfie in the bathroom multiple times. Like, she'll take a selfie on my phone and post herself saying, hacked, hacked. And mind you, my friend Heather is like, why do you have Crystal's phone? Like, this is not cute. Like, why are you running away with Crystal's phone? Was something Miss Hope didn't know is that I deleted all my messages with Paul. And I changed his name on my phone. So her trying to look through, I know she was looking through my messages because at one point I was talking to somebody and it went right back to me and her conversation, which I was like, ha ha ha, like in your face. But it's not like me and Paul were saying anything bad. It was just the fact that like I knew she was taking my phone just to see if I was talking to Paul. And when she realized I wasn't talking to Paul, she disappeared. Okay, like she like gave it back, whatever. She'll disappear with my phone, take a selfie, post it on my Instagram, and then give back my phone. Okay, she did it every day. Every day we had this creative writing class, she would do that. After a while, I become, like distant from Paul. Paul is trying to figure out like what's going on. And he sends me the last message on Facebook going, hey, like, I don't understand why we stopped talking. I don't understand the distance, blah, blah. And all I sent him was, ask your girlfriend, period. And sent it to him. After I sent that, he blocked me from everything. And I know it wasn't Paul because Paul was still trying to talk to me during class. He'd be like, hey, like, what's going on between us? Like, what's going on? Like, you're not talking to me, blah, blah. One thing about Paul, when it came to his friends, he would like to know why you stopped talking to him, which I loved about Paul. Still love about Paul. But I just thought it would be safer if I just stayed away. So a few months pass after that, and I become distant with Hope. I was like, okay, I'm done with Hope. Like, classes better be over. Like, I don't have to stay friends with this girl. So I could become distant with her because she also was acting weird, showing up to my house random hours of the day, and just like she just kept following me on social media, kept posting so-called cute things with her and Paul, and it was just like it felt directed because at one point she posted something and tagged me on it, and my friends were like, "What the hell?" And his friends were like, "Okay, that's crossing the line. I know she's psycho, but this is crossing the line," and I just let it be. So a few months pass. It's prom season. I asked my crush to prom, and Paul Paul pulled me to the side. This is our drama club time, and he pulls me to the side. Can we take a walk? And I'm like, sure. And I'm walking with him. He's like, I don't know how to ask her to prom, and blah blah. And I'm like, whatever you choose. I'm pretty sure she'll love it. And then he stops and he says, Hey, can I ask you something? And I'm like, yeah. What happened between us? Like we were really close friends, and then you just stopped, messaged me altogether. I'm like, I told you what happened. I sent you a message on Facebook when you messaged me. He goes, I haven't been active on Facebook for like a whole year. And I went, he goes, I'm gonna have to check on that because I have no message from you. Cause I don't even have the app on my phone. So I don't know what you're talking about. When I heard that coming out of that man's mouth, I was like, so it was the girlfriend. Got it. So this girl will make multiple accounts and make it seem like it's him and will send me messages, and I just kept blocking it. So I was just like, okay, this girl's never gonna end. So as I said, prom season came about. We're having a conversation. We had that whole conversation. I was confused. And Paul finally says, like, who are you asking to prom? I'm like, I'm asking my crush, and I'm asking him in this way. And he's like, oh, he's gonna love that. That kid is really sweet. I'm glad you guys are going together, whatever. So to be nice, I needed an extra person because my friends came from college to help me ask my crush to prom. And then I had friends coming out of their classes for bathroom breaks to come, hold signs and ask them to prom. One of my friends couldn't make it because they were sick, okay? And the only option I had was to ask Hope to help me. She said, yeah, sure, whatever, and then didn't want to do it afterwards. So I had to ask one of my friend's little sister to help me, and she did it for me, and I was like very happy. She goes, "Oh, I'll help you, Crystal, not a problem." And she was in the same class with us. And I asked them. She sat there with a stank face, going, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I just, I wasn't feeling why I didn't want to do it." I'm like, "Okay, whatever," and I just stopped altogether talking to her because I was just like, "Okay, like now you're just being rude as hell." And I should have called her ass out. I should have been like, at least I wasn't trying to harm me because you thought I was gonna steal your man away from you. But I'm just not that type of person. It's just like, whatever. But yeah, fast forward, we go to prom. She's making Paul's life a living hell during prom. Felt so bad for him. He couldn't even enjoy time with his friends, couldn't even go to prom weekend. It was just like she was so controlling over him. It's like he didn't have a life outside of her. So a few years passed by, right? This is at least around her senior year. Mind you, in the point of the story, she's a freshman. It's around her senior year. It's his turn to go to her prom. He goes to her prom and apparently have the nastiest fight. And and she comes to my precious little abode to do her hair. And we do her hair, and she's having a so-called great time on social media with Paul at prom as she is messaging me on messages saying the most nastiest things to me. Realized that Hope was always the weirdo and the stalker. So this is around her college years at this point, my also college years. And then my mom had it, like, obviously you guys know my mom's a hairdresser. And I would stay in the salon while she go run errands, or I was just basically like her front desk person, okay? And this specific day, I was on the phone with my best friend Lily, and I'm talking to her. I'm venting about I don't know, God knows what. And I see in the corner, I'm not even joking. I'm like, when you're like daydreaming, you're not really focusing on the front of you, but in the side of me here in this corner, if you're watching me on YouTube, sorry for the people that are listening to me, I'm pointing to the right side of the screen. I saw somebody cupping their hands on their face, looking through the window in the salon, and I'm like talking to my friend. I'm avoiding it. And then they come towards the door. At this point, I know I had the door locked, okay? But they're cupping their hands towards the door. They like move from the side window to the main door. And I scream. And when I scream, I know who it was. It was Hope. She ran, like ran, and then just drove off. You understand how creepy that sounds? And I just let it go. I don't say it to anybody besides my best friend and my mom at the time. Okay? I'm like, I was really creeped out by that. That was really weird. Like, it was the fact that they like came in their car, parked it illegally, cupped their hands, and then drove off. And somebody say, okay, Crystal, might be that's all in your head. Maybe, she was trying to book an appointment with your mom. Wrong. She hasn't come to the salon since she became a senior. Like, she just completely stopped altogether to come to my mom to do her hair, and so did her family. After she does that, this is like at least after this situation happens, a month passes. And I'm already getting like uncomfortable because on social media she's lurking through everything. Like everything on my social media, like Snapchat, all this stuff, like just like lurking, like becoming a complete stalker. And some might say that okay, that's so far fetched. But she started appearing in different locations where I was. Mind you, I'm not the type to post where I am automatically while I'm there. I'll post like minutes or hours after I leave that I'm there because of situations with Stalker 1 and Stalker 2. So I just became very aware of my surroundings. But every location I was in, like I kid you freaking not, I went to Dunkin' Donuts with Lily one day, and she just drove by, and I was just like, I was literally like what the heck? And some people will be like, okay, Crystal, like that could have been like the only Dunkin', like maybe you have a mutual. No, there was multiple locations, and I know for a fact that Hope never liked this Dunkin', and she drove by, and then drove by again, and then drove by again, and then drove by again, and when I saw them go farther, I told Lily, let's get in my car, and I just want to see if this car passes by again. Lily goes in the car with me, and we're sitting there. The car drove again, and the car drove again, and the car drove again. Never once parking. Never once parking. You would assume like, oh, they're trying to see if the there was no crowd there. It was just me and Lily and a mom and a daughter. That's it. Okay. I got really uncomfortable or something because like I just feel very uncomfortable. Sorry, Lily, if I never outed why we left that day. Well, that's why. Okay, so that happens. So after that, I'm telling Lily, let's hit our location. Like I feel very uncomfortable here. And I never told Lily why we ended up leaving. But Lily, if you're watching this or listening to this, just know it was because of the Stalker 3. I never told her that. She was probably like so confused when we moved locations, but it was just so freaking weird how the fact that like every time she'll pass by her car, and I knew it was her car because she had a Pacific sticker on her car. And the reason I know that was because it was her parents' car. So I knew her parents' car because her and my mom, they always drove the same car to go to my mom's salon. And my mom will always stand near the door and talk to them and have a conversation with them. I knew their car. It was just very creepy. It's just, oh my God. Like, and it just didn't make it better when she realized that me and Paul reunited. And she was trying to get back with Paul after they broke up. And he was just like, you know what? I'm fed up. Bye. I'm not trying to deal with this shit. Leaves. He hangs out with me. We're cool. We're homies again. And she blocks me. She blocks me. Hallelujah. But this is after years and years of her just stalking me, sending me messages, being weird as hell. And when me and Paul became friends with it, the stalking never stopped. Like, it never stopped after that. Luckily, recently, when me and Paul became closer friends, she just completely stopped. Like, she just completely, after he blocked her, I blocked her, everybody around us blocked her. We moved on. And, like, she moved very far away. And we haven't heard from him, thank God. But It was a lot. It was a lot. And yes, it's another female, and we are going to call her Miranda. Miranda, listen, Miranda was the type of girl that she seemed like a saint to everybody, but behind closed doors and stories that nobody besides me and Lily know, she wasn't a saint at all. Okay, she was just that typical, like, I look like a saint in front of my family and friends, and then behind closed doors to my best friends, I am this person and this person. I'm not gonna out what they did. Let's just say it's terrible, very bad, terrible behavior for a best close girlfriend. That's not the type of close girlfriend you want. But me and Miranda were very close friends with her. Like, me and Lily were really close friends with her. We consider her one of her, like, best third girl, like, best friends. Like, we consider her a best friend. But it became me, 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 and she just stopped caring, listening to anything me and Lily said or any advice we gave her. Like, it became to the point that our friendship became that she treated me like if I was in a relationship with her, where she needs to know where I am, wants to know where Lily is. It just became very toxic, and it just became all about her. She just only cared about us listening to her problems and her never listening to what we have to say. It just became very toxic. So we stopped being friends. We have a whole sit down trying to make amends of our friendship. She didn't care to listen, so the end of our friendship. It's not like we didn't try to be like be close friends with her. It's not like we stopped trying to be friends with her, is what I'm trying to say. She just chose not to care. She chose not to listen. She chose, you know what, I have better friends than you guys. And that's what she told us. She goes, I have better friends than you guys. I don't have to listen to you. I think this is BS. And just moved off. She left. I'm like, good luck, honey. Have a great life. And I just started screaming shit at her. I was like, listen, you are a terrible person. Anybody, whoever ends up being friends with her, I hope they never see the bad side of you. And I will admit that. But it's not like we didn't, you know, try everything in our might to not be friends with her. It was like we were trying. She didn't want to listen to us. And anytime Lily talked, she just didn't care to listen to her. And I just got fed up. I was like, listen, if you don't want to fix the friendship, you could just leave. And then she ended up leaving and saying really rude shit to me and Lily. And I said rude shit. But how she became a stalker is the question. And I know you guys are here for stalker stories. And the way that she became a stalker was the fact that I just completely isolated from my life. I just deleted her from everything. Because one thing about me, when you disrespect me, not only me, if you disrespect my best friend Lily, I just don't want you even close to me. But she was a very toxic friend. So I blocked her on everything. She sent me a very threatening message on my photography page, which I still have. And the thing about that is not, oh, this is a threat. It's like the fact that like she works for something really important, that if they saw that message is like oopsie, like but only me and Lily know about that message. So that's how it's gonna stay. Me and Lily know that message. I know what she said to me. I know how nasty she was being. And that's it. Like, I'm never gonna be like, oh, I'm mad at you, here, let me show this to your job that you're sending this. Like, no. It's just like, I'm the type of person, regardless of what you do, I'm not gonna risk your job because that's your job. Like, regardless how bad it was, I'm never gonna do that to her or show it to her family. Like, I'm just not that evil of a person. I don't know about her, but I'm not like that. Anyway, how she became a stalker was the fact that anytime, anytime she was free, she would just pass by my block. And some might say, not a big deal. Some may say, yes, it is a big deal because she will go up and down the block, okay? To the point that anytime she see my car move, she started following my car. And that's the weird part that I never understood, is that she always seemed to know where I am. And the same with my Stalker 3, she just always assumed where, like, always was spot on to know where I was. I would be in our it spot, she was always there. I would be at Dunkin' Donuts. Well, I always go to Dunkin' Donuts, so that's really my fault. She always showed up at my friend's house, passing back and forth, and it wasn't just me. She'll do it to Lily. She'll show up to one of our other friends. She'll always show up. At one point, we threw like a little event in the backyard for one of my friends, and she just nonstop passed by. And it's not like, oh, she's passing by like fast. Foo. She was literally passing by as slow as possible just to see what we were doing. But besides that, she was never really threatening like the other three stalkers. She was really like one of those stalkers that like to lurk. Okay? I feel like, to me, stalkers also include lurkers. And I have my fair share of lurkers. Shout out to them because they assume because they're lurking, I care. But reality, guys, you're just giving me views from my pages. Like all my podcast pages, you guys are active. Okay, you guys are active, reposting, um, lurking through my stories to see if something's about you. Like you're giving me views, and I honestly do you, boo boo. Like you are giving me views, and let me just tell you, it is amazing how much time you guys have. It is amazing how much time you guys have, okay? Because sometimes I'd be just like months. It was like at that point, I was like months without using my social media for my podcast and barely active. And these people were active. And it'll be like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. It would just be like these random times. And I'm just like, how much time do you guys have? Y'all don't have a job? Like, I would just be questioning, and then I'll be like, what am I talking about? These two people that lurk through my stuff, they do not have a job. Ooh, honey, they do not have a job. They don't survive in their jobs. What am I even talking about? Anyways, let me stop throwing shade. Okay, guys, so this is a part of the podcast where I give you advice or answer some questions about the podcast topic today. Today was about stalkers. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a little crazy, but this is actually what happens to me, and I don't understand why. It's just like people that were either in my life that became kind of weird, or it's just people that just had no ever sat down and had a conversation with me that just assume we're just like so tight. Like I just don't understand the delusion there. But my advice is never post or let your friends or family post where you are at the current moment, because if you are dealing with people that are being weird or just like to follow you and all that stuff, just don't post locations. Don't post where you are. Keep your life very private. Please do not walk in the same route to go home or to work or to anything. Because if you start walking in the same routine every day, it becomes very dangerous. Never share your address or phone number or anything with anyone that you do not know more than 3 months. I learned that the wrong way and the hard way. um, and for the people that I know are probably dealing with people that just won't give up, and there's people that just don't get the hint, tell your friends and family, tell a teacher, tell a professor, tell somebody or a police officer, be like, this person's making me feel really uncomfortable. And I've told them multiple times and they won't leave me alone. And if you have to file a restraining order, do it. It's like, it's no shape or form embarrassing or like being over dramatic. If somebody's making you feel really uncomfortable and you've told them multiple times to leave you alone and they're not getting the hint, there's no shame in giving them a restraining order, or just in general, just blocking them. Or just, I don't know, confront them. Confront them with a group of people. Obviously, not by yourself, but that's my advice. For the questions my friend wrote, let's see. How do you know somebody's either a stalker or acting weird? Acting weird is more they're very dismissive and very defensive and all that. A stalker is more like they like to know every detail of your life. They like to know where you are. They like to know where you're going. That's the difference, really. How's your new stalker, Junior? You guys don't know who Junior is. Junior is I'm not gonna talk about Junior too much because Junior is a new stalker and I don't find him creepy, really. It's just, it's TikTok. It's like, it's not, to me, he's nowhere near us. God bless. But Junior just is very active in my likes and very active in like profile views. And I let Junior be. Okay? like Junior doesn't harm me in any way, but my friend thinks he's hilarious because he just pops out about a just out of the blue. um, is it weird seeing Stalker 2? Not as much. I'm gonna be honest, not as much. Stalker 2 now like mostly bothers my husband, which is I think is hilarious. Bothers my brothers. Annoys the heck out of my mom, but me personally, he doesn't make any eye contact towards me, and it's a blessing. But I think he understands like my husband is a scary dude. Okay, the moment you irritate my husband, like that's it. Like he's gonna be like, "Yo, back up." But I think he's threatened by my husband. That's why he's left me alone. If I have to completely be honest, he doesn't acknowledge me at all. I remember me and my husband were trying to get rid of something, and my husband's like, "Hey, you want this? Like, it's free if you want it." And he said yes, and he was so happy. He swears that my husband is his best friend now, and he doesn't acknowledge me, which is great. I can't understand this person's handwriting. That's what I get for making people write their own questions. But what is the hardest thing about Stalker 3 and the scariest moment you had with Stalker 3? The hardest moment was finding out that she was trying to harm me when I came over her, if I was planning to come over her house. I still to this day I'm trying to figure out how she was trying to do that, really. Thank God I never went to her house. Scariest moment would have to be that, like finding out from her best friend that was trying to harm me. That's what I think is really weird. Like, what were you planning to do? Okay. Um, I think we have one last question, but I'm gonna be honest, I can't understand this person's handwriting. I skipped it, thinking like I could come back to you, and I still can't understand this person's handwriting, but we'll just let it at that. I can't understand this person's handwriting. We'll just leave it at that. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I will see you guys next time. I am trying to get to this routine of posting every Wednesday. Hopefully that becomes an actual thing. And I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing April. Can't wait to see you guys in May. But the next podcast, hopefully we're talking about the Demi Lovato concert because that's where we're going this Friday for April 24th. But yeah, see you guys later. Love you guys. Bye.